My name is Josh. Today we're going to do a practice exploring the concept of balance. We'll learn about the relationship between the front and the back of the foot and how to strengthen both the medial and lateral arch. And what I hope you take away from this is that being in a balanced position doesn't mean that it's rigid or static. That balance is a very dynamic state. I hope you enjoy. All right, so we're going to begin by laying down on the back with the feet flat to the floor and the knees bent. Relax your arms by your side, with your palms facing down, and take a couple breaths in and out through your nose or your mouth. Breathe in a way that feels supportive for you. And then from there, slide your right leg out long in front of you, keeping the back of the leg down, and point your toes from that position. Pointing your toes and curling the toes in towards the sole of the foot. And then do the opposite, so flex your ankle, draw the toes back towards you. Point your toes again. Flex your ankle again. And then point your toes. From there, slide your right foot back in, and we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Left leg slides out. Point your toes. And flex your ankle. And point your toes. And flex the ankle one more time. And point your toes. And then from there, pull your left foot back in. We'll do a little simple sequence here to start to sync up the movement of the body with the breath. So as you inhale, reach both of your arms up overhead, all the way to the floor behind you. And then as you breathe out, lower your arms down and raise your hips up simultaneously, as if coming into bridge pose. As you breathe in, reach the arms back up, lower your hips down. And this time as you exhale, lower the arms and draw the knees in towards the chest. So the hands come down as the knees pull in. Inhale your arms back up, raise the shoulders a little, and extend your legs out long in front of you. As you exhale, lower the arms, knees pull in. Inhale your feet down, arms up overhead, and we'll repeat that whole sequence 2 more times. Exhale your arms down, hips up. Inhale your hips down, arms up. And then exhale your arms down, knees in. As you breathe in, legs out, shoulders up, and the arms reach. Exhale, arms down, knees in. Inhale your feet flat, reach up overhead. And as you exhale, arms down, raise your hips up. This is the last one. Take our time with it, arms up, hips down. Exhale, lower your arms, knees in. Inhale, arms up, shoulders raise a little, legs out. And as you exhale, arms down, knees in. Set your feet down, arms up overhead. And as you exhale, lower your arms by your side. And then bring your knees into your chest. And from there, make your way up into a seat. All right, then we'll swing the shins back around behind us. Come into a tabletop pose. And from tabletop position, tuck your left toes under. Wiggle your left foot back until your leg is straight. Try to press into the mound of the left big toe and the mound of the left pinky toe, so that your leg is engaged a lot. Then from there, press through the floor. Extend your right leg back as if in plank pose, but only on the left foot, with your right toes pointing, holding there. This is too much. You could always lower the left knee down. And then lower your right knee down and then your left. Wiggle your right foot back until your leg is straight. Left leg back and up, pointing your toes. And then lower your left knee down and then the right. And do that a couple times. I want you to really feel the rooting of the mound of the big toe and the mound of the pinky toe. So left leg back, right leg back, point your toes. Lower your right knee down, and then your left. Right foot back, big toe, pinky toe. Left leg back, point your toes. Left knee down, and then the right. One more time. Left foot wiggles back, right leg back. Good. Right knee down, then the left. Wiggle your right foot back, then the left. Left knee down, and then the right. Then from there, tuck your toes under, and lift your hips up, and come into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. All right, then take one more breath in. Exhale completely. Look forward and step to the front of your mat. As you inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain pose, arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, arms down by your side. All right. So I want you to shift the weight a little bit forward in your foot so that you can feel the mounds of the big toes and the mounds of the pinky toes. From there, inhale your arms up overhead. As you do that, raise the heels up. And as you breathe out, lower your heels, hinge from your hips, and fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway up. And then plant your palms, step back to plank pose. Lower all the way down. Same technique that we did in plank pose before. Tuck your toes, gauge the legs, contract your glutes, lift your chest up into cobra pose. So similar to how we did plank, point your right toes, breathe in, then tuck your right toes, lower down. Inhale your chest up again. First, then point your left toes. Tuck your left toes, lower your chin. Chest up, then point all 10 toes. Tuck your toes, lower your chin, plank your tabletop, push up, and down dog as you breathe out. And we'll repeat that a few times. So full breath in, and a full breath out. All right, look forward, step to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain pose, arms up. And then exhale your arms down by your side. Repeat, inhale, reach up. Heels up. Exhale, fold forward, hinge from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale, step back, lower down. Toes stay tucked, knees are up. Inhale your chest up. Point your right toes. Tuck your right toes first, lower the chin. The knees stay lifted the whole time. Inhale your chest up. Point your left toes. Tuck your left toes first, lower the chin. Inhale your chest up. Point all 10 toes. Tuck your toes, lower your chin. Plank your tabletop, push up. And then downward facing dog. Take 2 or 3 breaths in downward dog. One more breath in. And exhale out. Repeat that one more time. Step to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain pose, arms up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, reach up, raise your heels. Fold forward as you breathe out. Inhale, halfway lift. And then as you exhale, step back and lower down. Toes stay tucked, knees are always up. Inhale your chest up, point your right toes. As you exhale, lower your toes and your chin. Chest up, point your left toes. As you exhale, tuck the toes, lower your chin. Chest up, all 10 toes point. Tuck your toes, lower your chin. Plank or tabletop push up. And then downward facing dog. All right, inhale your right leg up towards the sky. Then step all the way through to a lunge. Lower your left knee down to the ground. Keep your back toes tucked under, pushing into the mound of the big toe and the pinky toe. And with your hands on your hips, feel as if your left foot is pushing the hips forward and your right foot is pulling back simultaneously. Then lift your left arm up overhead. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, we'll twist to the right. So hook your left arm outside of your right thigh, bring your palms together. Now continue to push to the mound of the left big toe and pinky toe and feel like the more you push, the lighter the knee feels on the floor until you push through the foot so much so that the knee actually lifts up, the back leg is engaged. Then kind of, in a way, feel like you're turning from the back foot, turning through the back leg. Breathe in one more time. Then downward facing dog, hands down, step back. Now inhale your left leg up and step through. Same thing, lower your right knee down, slide your hands to your hips. The back toes are still tucked and you're staying connected to the mound of the big toe and pinky toe. Then reach your right arm up overhead. And that same feeling, that same sense of the right foot pushing the pelvis forward and the left foot pulling the hips back. One more breath. And then twist to your left. Hook your right elbow outside of the thigh, palms together, pick your back knee up off the ground. Pushing so much to the mound of the big toe and pinky toe that it causes the knee to lift. And it's an active straightening of the leg, it's not passive. Turn a little more. Keep turning out of the back leg and breathe in. And then downward facing dog, hands down. Step back. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. All right, then look forward and step to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway up. Fold forward as you exhale. Inhale, mountain pose, arms up. And as you exhale, lower your arms by your side. Okay, now go ahead and take your hands to your hips and bend your knees like you're setting up chair pose. Feet together, knees together. Now I want you to move your knees as far forward as you can so it feels like your heels almost want to pull away from the ground. So you can load the weight into the ball mounds, both of them, and the pinky mounds. Then start to move your shins away from the front of the mat until the weight drifts towards the heels, and you can feel the weight in both the heels and at the mounds of the feet. Then stand up, and we'll do that again. So with your hands to your hips, bend your knees, let the knees come forward until the weight loads into the front of the foot. Then take the shins back to balance it. Balance the weight in the back of the foot. And then from there, stand up and lower the arms. Lower the arms by the side. Now bend your knees. This time inhale to chair pose and feel the weight centered between the front and the foot and the back. On your next breath in, with the weight shifted to your right foot, inhale to stand up and lift your left knee up. Now feel like the crown of the head is moving forward as your left leg extends back. We'll come into a low lunge. So take a full breath in And then as you exhale, the head moves forward, the left leg extends back, and the goal here is to stay centered in your right foot and land light. Stay there and breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga, point your right toes. Like we did before, lower halfway down. And with all 10 toes tucked, inhale to upward dog. Into downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, step through. Keep your left palm down. Inhale, turn open to the right. Back leg is engaged. Then lower your right hand down. From this position, the goal here, try to keep as much pressure at the big toe mound and the pinky toe mound as you can, and begin to straighten the front leg as best as you can, keeping the pressure in the front of the foot so it doesn't move all the way to the heel. Might feel very different than how you would typically do the posture, because the tendency is for the weight to move more heel bound than front foot bound, forefoot bound. So keep ball mound down, pinky mound, breathe in, and then bend your right knee. Now inhale to crescent lunge, arms up. All right, stay centered in your right foot, arms reach from the waist, take a full breath in. Now lean forward as you exhale with the arms back. Feel like the head pulling forward brings the center of mass forward, and inhale to mountain pose with your left knee up. And then exhale your arms down and your left foot down. Bend your knees, inhale to chair pose. Shift the weight towards your left foot. Inhale your right knee up. And then as you exhale to low lunge, so the head moves forward as your right leg extends back. Stay centered in the left foot and land light. Stay there and breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga, point your left toes halfway down. 10 toes under to upward dog. And downward dog. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, step through. Inhale your left arm up. Keep the back leg engaged. Exhale, left hand down. Then keeping the forefoot, the front of the foot, pinned to the floor, start to slide your hips back. The front of the foot actively pushing the floor away. You might even feel this more in the front of the shin and the ankle than you would typically. Breathe in. And then bend your left knee. Inhale, crescent lunge, arms up. Stay rooted. Breathe in, reach. Exhale, lean forward, arms back. Then as the crown of the head moves forward, you'll inhale to mountain pose with your right knee up. And then exhale your arms down and your right foot down. Bend your knees, inhale to chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then plant your palms, step back and lower halfway down. Toes stay under through upward dog. And downward facing dog. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Inhale. And exhale. All right, look forward, step to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold forward. Inhale, mountain pose, arms up. And then arms down by your side. So we're going to flow through this again. We're trying to center the weight so it's not too far forward and not too far back. So we have the ball mound and the pinky mound, and we have the center of the heel. Once we have the foot positioned in that way, the way in which we find balance is it's this dynamic state, this kind of wobble between the inner arch, the medial arch, and the lateral arch. So it's a little bit of wobble left and right. This is the process of balance. This is balance. It's not a static, it's not a rigid, it's not a state like a concrete pillar, unwavering. There's a lot of waver, a lot of movement in the process of balance. So we embrace it. Bend your knees, inhale to Utkatasana. Shift the weight to your right foot as you breathe out. Inhale your left knee up. Exhale, low lunge. So take your time stepping back. Stay there and breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga. Point your right toes and lower. 10 under through upward dog. And down dog on the breath out. Inhale, left leg up. Sorry. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, lunge. Inhale your right arm up. Exhale, right hand down, straighten your front leg. Stay and breathe in. Then bend your right knee. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, lean forward, reach back. The head moves our mass forward. Inhale, left knee up. Be with the wobble. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, chair pose. Weight shifts left. Inhale, right knee up. Exhale, low lunge. Step back, land light. Hold and breathe in. Exhale, chaturanga. Point your toes and lower. Upward dog, 10 under. And downward dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, lower your hands, straighten your front leg. Stay and breathe in. Bend your left knee. Inhale, arms up. And lean forward and reach back. Head moves forward. Inhale, right knee up. And then arms down by your side. Bend your knees, inhale to chair pose. Fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then plant your palms, step back and lower halfway down. Upward dog. And downward facing. Then look forward and step to the front of your mat and bring your feet together. Lift halfway up. And as you exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain pose, arms up. And then arms down by your side. All right, so take your hands onto your hips and bend your knees like you're doing chair pose. We're gonna explore balance a little bit more challenging way. So bend the knees, let the knees come forward so it's like all on the front foot, then take the shins back to find the heels. Once you get that sweet spot where it's balanced forward and back, reach your left arm up, and then twist to your right and hook your left arm outside of your thigh with your palms together. And keeping the knees together, the weight centered in your right foot, start to pull your left foot back either onto the toes or pick the foot up completely with the knees still together. In your right foot, the weight should be centered front and back, and then the right and the left wobble. That's the state of balance. That careening back and forth is balance. It's very dynamic. Take one more breath. Probably feel it in the ankle and the foot. And then lower your left foot down and fold forward. Let's do Pada Angushtasana. Separate the feet hips width, base fingers to the big toes. Lift and lengthen. And then fold forward, elbows wide. As you fold, shoulders away from the ears. Stay centered in the foot. 2 more breaths. And 1 more breath. All right, walk your feet back together. Lift halfway up. Fold forward. Inhale, mountain pose, arms up. And then arms down by your side. Hands to hips again, bend the knees, move the knees forward to load the front of the feet, then take the shins back to feel the heels. Once centered in the foot, inhale your right arm up. and then twist to your left. Hook your right elbow outside of the thigh. Palms together. And then staying centered in the left foot, pull your right toes back, either keeping the toes down, more or less in line with your left heel, or pick the foot up completely. And if you could stay centered in the foot, let the left and the right wobble. So let the wobble be the process of balance and the state of balance. State of balance is a dynamic way that we always move towards middle, towards midline. Keep embracing the wobble. Take one more breath in. Then lower your right foot and fold forward. All right, lift halfway up. And then downward facing dog. All right, so let's elaborate on this idea a little bit more. This sort of concept of finding the center foot and working with the wobble. Inhale your right leg up and then step through to a lunge. Now come up onto your fingertips from here. I want you to spin your back foot flat as if you're setting up Warrior Two, and then inhale up into Warrior Two. Bend into your right knee, reach the arms out. The stance that's long but not too long. And then bring your attention into the front foot. Raise your right heel, the front heel, just a little bit. So all the weight's forward, then lower your heel, raise the front foot. So you have the pressure on the heel, the front of the foot's down. Then lower the front foot, raise the heel. Lower the heel, raise the front foot. Front foot down, so the mounds, raise the heel, and I want you to keep the pressure underneath the mounds of the big and pinky toe, but lower the heel down, bring some of the weight into the heel, but not all of it. Maintain that, and then take reverse warrior. Right arm up. Left hand on the back leg, try to stay in the front foot, centered front and back, and breathe in. And then downward facing dog, hands down, step back. Lift your left leg up. Step through to a lunge. The same thing, start on the fingertips. Spin your back foot flat like Warrior Two. And then come up into Warrior Two. So we can take our time and we can organize the feet. Reach out through the arms. Bring your awareness into the left foot. Raise your left heel a little bit. Pushing down at the mound, big toe, pinky toe. Lower the heel, raise the front foot. Lower the front foot, raise the heel. Lower your heel, raise the front foot. Lower the front foot, raise the heel, and then try to stay in the mound of the big toe, pinky toe. Lower the heel to bring some of the pressure there. Then take reverse warrior, left arm up. You have equal weight in the front of the foot as you do in the back. Breathe in. And then downward facing dog. Hands down. Step back. All right, let's take that idea one step further. Lift your right leg up again. Step through. Come up onto your fingertips. Spin your back foot flat. This time though, raise your front heel. Then keeping as much pressure in the front of the foot as the back, lower the heels, now it's balanced. Then inhale to side angle pose and reach your left arm overhead. Staying centered in the right foot, front and back. Left arm reaching overhead. Then stay centered in the right foot, centered relative to front and back. Inhale to Warrior Two. Now from there, straighten your right leg. Keep pushing down at the mound of the big and pinky toe. Take triangle pose. Right hand down, left arm up. So trying to continue to keep pressure at the big toe and pinky toe mound. Now slide your left hand to your left hip. When we move into half moon pose, the weight's gonna bring the head's gonna bring the weight of the body forward, which will tend to pull the weight forward in the foot as well. So when we lose the weight into the toes, we recover it in the heel, once we're up. So bend your right knee, shift your weight forward, the head pulls our mass forward into half moon pose, left leg up. Then if you lost all the weight to the front of the foot, find the center of the heel, and then we balance through that wobble left and right. Having the hand down will help. But if you can, use the hand as minimally as possible and really focus on the muscles of the feet and the ankle and the shin to balance. So front and back we're centered. We balance through the wobble. And then with the same control, we're going to exit. So keep your right hand down, bend your right knee, step back, land light. Inhale to warrior two. Stay for the breath out. Reverse warrior inhale. And downward facing dog. Left side like the right, lift up. Step through. Onto your fingertips. Spin your back foot flat. Raise your left heel to load the front of the foot. Then slowly lower the heel to find the back of the foot as well. Inhale to side angle pose, right arm overhead. Couple breaths. I know there's like so many things to think about in every pose. Just focus on the left foot. Centered in weight, front to back. Ball mound, pinky mound, heel. Okay, keep that. Inhale to warrior two. Then straighten your left leg, slide your right hand to your hip. Keeping the ball mound, pinky mound, holding pressure, reach forward and down into triangle pose and reach up. Right, and then slide your right hand to your hips. Again, as the head moving forward pulls the mass of the body forward, we'll tend to lose the weight to the toes, so we have to find it back in the heel. Bend your left knee, head comes forward, pick your right leg up. If you lost the pose to the front foot, find the heel again, and let the right and the left, little bit of wobble be part of the pose. Keep your hand on your hip. No need to go anymore into the shoulders. Stay in the foot. One more breath. And then we land light. So you'll keep the hand down, bend the left knee a little. Step back, land light, stay in the left foot. Up to warrior two. Reverse warrior, one breath. And then downward facing dog. Hands down, step back. Okay, then from there, look forward and step to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway up. And fold forward. Inhale, mountain pose, arms up. And then lower your arms down by your side. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of experimenting with balance. So typically, and what we've been doing in class today is we're trying to use the inner and outer edge of the foot, that wobble, to create balance. If the muscles of the feet, the muscles of the legs were weak, the body would tend to shift its hips side to side, or for the arms to move side to side, or the whole body to sway to find balance. What we're going to do is see if we can stay in the feet and let that be the primary source, strength of balance. So with your hands on your hips, I want you to shift the weight towards your right foot, and then without leaning back, bring your left big toe to the floor as far out in front of you as you can without leaning back. Then slide your left foot around to the left without leaning to the right. Slide the foot behind you without leaning forward. Left without leaning right. Forward without leaning back. One more, left without leaning right. Back without leaning forward. Left without leaning right. Forward without leaning back. And then pick your left knee up. And from there we'll take tree pose. Sole of your left foot to your right thigh, anywhere on the leg. Then, just like we did from the hips up, keep everything stable, and let the balance come from the foot, from the wobble, from inner to outer arch of the foot. So try not to let the hips shift right, the upper body to lean left. Try to do all of your balancing from the sole of the foot. Okay, great. And then step your left foot down. Okay, then with the weight in the left foot, without leaning back, bring your right toes out far out in front of you as you can. To the right without leaning left. Behind you without leaning back, without leaning forward. Right without leaning left. Forward without leaning back. Right without leaning left. Back without leaning forward. Right without leaning left. And then forward without leaning back. And then pick your right knee up. Take tree pose on this side. Again, from the hips up, everything stays the same, stable, and all the balancing is coming from the left foot. And that wobble between the inner foot and the out, because we've already set ourselves up so that we're centered front to back. Take a few more breaths. Okay, good. And then set your right foot down. It's just a little playful way to reinforce, re-ingrain this pattern, this way of thinking about the foot. So I want you to stand on the right foot, take your left toe, left big toe, left toes to the back of your right heel. Press down through the ball mount and pinky mount of your left foot. Then as you lower your left heel down, pick your right foot up. That's the foot in front. Right big toe comes to the back of the left heel. Go ball mound, pinky mound. As you drop the heel down, pick your left foot up. Toe to heel. Ball mound, pinky mound. Drop the heel, pick your right foot up. Then from there, I want you to keep your right knee up, reach your arms overhead. And then we'll come into warrior 3. So lean forward, extend your right leg back. So you're going to lean forward and extend your right leg back with the arms out in front of you and the foot centered front and back. Turning sideways so you can see me. And then the wobble right and left is part of the pose. Okay, great. And then stand up and lower your arms down. All right, then we're going to do the opposite. So you're going to take your right heel to your left toes, heel down, ball mound, pinky mound down, pick your back foot up, bring it in front, heel to toe, heel, ball mound, pinky mound, pick your right foot up, heel, ball mound, pinky mound, left foot comes up, and then left knee comes up, arms up, and we'll do warrior 3 now, standing on the right foot. Arms out in front of you, hips stable, the weight's balanced front to back, and the only thing you're working on is that inner foot, outer foot wobble. Becoming one with the wobble. Because that right there is balance. One more breath. Okay, and then stand up, lower your arms down. Okay, now, like we did at the beginning, inhale to mountain pose. Raise your heels up. Fold forward as you breathe out. Inhale, halfway lift. Then plant your palms, step back and lower halfway down. Upward facing dog. And downward dog. Good. All right, lower your knees down. Take your legs, swing them around out in front of you. And then from there, go ahead and lower all the way down onto your back. So all the way down onto your back, arms by your side. And Now let's just stretch out the hips a little bit. So take your knees into your chest, cross your right leg over the left, and we'll do Gomukhasana. Gomukhasana. So with the thighs crossed, you're going to grab opposite foot, opposite ankle, opposite shin, or opposite knee, depending on what you have the capacity for. Outer right hip moves away from the right shoulder and feel almost like you're attempting to lay the tailbone out on the ground. We'll be here for a couple breaths. Try to breathe and breathe well. Okay, and then uncross the legs. This time take your knees in with your left leg over the right. Again, grabbing opposite ankle or opposite shin. As the knees pull in, the feet move apart. This can be a quite intense posture for many people, myself included in that list. But again, try to breathe out and breathe out well. And then uncross the legs. Take your right knee into your chest. Set your right foot up like you're doing happy baby pose, just on the right leg. And then switch sides. Grab the outer edge of your left foot with your left hand. If that's not accessible, you can just bring the knee into the chest. And then set your left foot down. And then from there, bring both of your knees in. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, extend your legs out into Shavasana and rest here. Feet nice and wide, arms by your side, soften the shoulders, the neck, head, and most importantly, soften and relax the feet. We did a lot with the feet, so now it's their time to harvest the fruits of the practice. And as always, take as much time as you need to continue to rest here. I'll leave you here. But to ourselves, to each other, to the practice, to the teachings, to the yoga tradition. Thank you.